everybody, this is Victor again from the Retired Guys. So today I am going to make something that I made before, but I'm going to make it in a different way. I'm going to make a savory Dutch baby. So I had really great response on the regular Dutch baby that I made, so I decided to make one, a savory one, and that's going to be dinner for me and James tonight. You can make them you can put almost anything into them. So this is my second one. This one's going to be a savory one, and I'm going to show you what you're going to need to make a Dutch baby. It's basically the same ingredients that you would normally use. You're just going to add herbs and spices to it. I'm going to keep my Dutch baby recipe exactly the way it is. I'm just going to add my stuff into the mixture before I put it into the oven. Most importantly, the first thing you definitely need, you need a cast iron skillet. It should be a cast iron skillet. Basically, you need 3 eggs at room temperature. What I'm giving you first is the recipe for the Dutch baby. You're going to need three eggs at room temperature, a half a cup of milk at room temperature. You're going to need a half a cup of flour. You're going to need a teaspoon of vanilla, a pinch of nutmeg, and a pinch of salt and some sugar. How I'm making it savory is I'm going to be adding bacon, and I'm also going to be adding asparagus. I did about 6 to 7 strips of bacon, cut it into small little pieces. This is probably about maybe 12 or 13 sticks of asparagus that I cut up in little small cubes. So what we're going to do first, before we even do this, is we're going to actually put the Dutch baby together. We can leave it in the blender as we're cooking this. So the first thing we want to do is you want to get your mixer, okay, and basically you want to add all your ingredients. So basically you want to add your milk. You want to add your egg. So we have 3 whole eggs. Okay, so you have 3 whole eggs. We're going to add a pinch of nutmeg. Just a pinch of nutmeg. That to me is about a pinch. We're going to add the half a cup of all-purpose flour. We're going to add, I did the nutmeg already. We're going to add the teaspoon of, new bottle. Goes to show you that I use vanilla so much. Okay, let's get this open. Okay. There we go. So we need a teaspoon. Let me get my teaspoon here. So we're going to need a teaspoon of vanilla. And we're also going to need a pinch of salt. Pinch of salt is like a half a teaspoon. So you got a pinch of salt in there, and we're also going to need a tablespoon of sugar. So a tablespoon, I'm thinking, yes, it's a tablespoon. So 1 tablespoon of sugar. Okay. So everything you see in this blender, this is your standard Dutch baby recipe. So put your cover back on. Okay. That's perfect. So we're going to set this aside. Let's put this away. We don't need any of this. Okay, so when we come back, I'm going to show you now what we're going to do with the bacon and with the asparagus. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is I got my frying pan on the stove. Okay, and the first thing you want to do is you want to cook your bacon first. You don't want to do anything with the asparagus. Basically, you want to cook your bacon. So For the Dutch baby size that we're making, my pan happens to be a 10-inch pan, cast iron pan. So if you're going to make a bigger Dutch baby, I would recommend using a little bit more bacon. Okay, so you want to just cook this bacon, and just so you know, the bacon is going to release a lot of fat. It's going to release a lot of oil. Most people want to actually get rid of that oil. Because we have no fat in our Dutch baby mixture, we're going to keep the oil. So what we're going to do is, when the bacon is cooked, we're going to add the asparagus 5 minutes before we actually shut the heat off. Then we'll add the asparagus, and then what we're going to do is we're going to put the Dutch baby and the asparagus and the bacon. We're going to mix it all together, and we're going to pour it into the cast iron pan. When I get up to that point, I'll show you what to do. But if you know how to make it, if you saw my other video and you know how to make that Dutch baby, you should have no problem with this. So come back in a couple of minutes and we'll show you. Okay, so I got my bacon rendering, so this is halfway done. So what we want to do now, also, you want to keep 3 tablespoons of butter, because this is going to go into the cast iron pot, right in a pan. Right now I have my cast iron pan in a 400-degree oven. I need to get it as hot as I can. Now I'm going to add in my asparagus.
And the grease of the bacon will help cook the asparagus.
Right, the oil from the bacon is going to help cook the asparagus a little. But you don't want the asparagus overcooked. You don't want the asparagus too mushy. You want a little bit of crunch to it. But when the bacon is like almost done, that's when you throw your asparagus in. So it depends on how you like your bacon. Some people like it really, really crispy. I happen to like mine in the middle. Jimmy likes some of his crispy, so there are some in here that are crispy, so this will be good for the both of us. So we're going to let this cook for probably about another 5 minutes, and when we come back, my cast iron pan should be hot enough. We're going to take that out of the oven, and then we'll start assembling the whole Dutch baby, savory Dutch baby. Okay, so this is ready. This is done. Everything is nice. Bacon is nice and crispy. And there's still a little bit of crunch to the asparagus. Again, you could do almost anything with this. You could do sausage. You could do sardines. I kind of like sardines. You could put some sardines in there. You can do mushrooms in there. You could do so much to make it savory. So this is done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shut off the heat. I'm going to remove it off the heat for a while. Okay. Now, keep in mind, the cast iron pan has been in the oven at 400 for about 15-20 minutes. So remember, when you go to remove it, you need a glove. So we're going to remove this. Do not shut the oven off. Okay, so remember, this pan is very, very hot. You can see it smoking already. So the first thing you want to do is you want to take three tablespoons of butter, and you want to basically melt that down. I was just about to touch the handle. You basically want to just get this to melt down totally. Okay, this is a basic Dutch recipe. This is the one that I made in my other video, but this is now a savory one. Okay, so while I wait for that to be melted, I'm just going to pulse my mixture just slightly. Okay, so this is good for me. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the asparagus mixture with the bacon, grease and all, and I'm going to basically put that in the same pan. Okay, get rid of this. Put my glove back on, because remember, this pan is hot. Just spread everything around. This alone smells absolutely fantastic. This is enough for at least 2 people. Okay, so I got that spread out really nicely. I'm going to give this one more pulse. Okay, and we're going to shut this off. We're going to remove this. I'm trying my best not to get near the pan because it's hot. And try not to pour it all in the center. So what you want to do, just take your mixture and just go all the way around. Okay? You want it everywhere. So like I said, this is enough for 2 people. Okay, so we're going to put this in the oven. But what we're going to do is, the oven was at 400 degrees to heat up the frying pan. What we're going to do now is increase it to 425. We're going to take our Dutch baby and we're going to throw it in the middle of the oven. We're going to let that cook anywhere between 16 to 20 minutes. You'll see it'll start to really get puffy and rise like the other one did. But when you take it out of the oven, eventually, when you let it sit for a while, it is going to flatten down. So that's to be expected because we've added stuff to it. If it was just a regular Dutch baby, the rise would stay because there's nothing on top of it actually pushing it down. So when I take it out of the oven, you'll see it'll be nice and puffy and full. And you'll say, oh my God, why did it fall? It's going to settle and it's going to fall a little bit because we have ingredients that we added. We have our bacon and we have our asparagus. So whatever you add stuff to a Dutch baby, it's not going to keep its fluffiness, but it's still going to taste absolutely delicious. Be back in about 20 minutes and we'll show you how it looks. Okay, so it's been cooking for about 18 minutes and it's done now. So I shut the oven off. Remember, don't forget to use your mitt. And look how beautiful that is. That is a savory Dutch baby. The same way that you would make, yeah, it's perfect. You see the bacon, you see the asparagus, you have all the nice butter. It's nice and fluffy. It'll probably stay this way for a while until it actually starts to settle. I'm going to let it cool down for like maybe a minute or 2 before I cut into it. So this is going to be our dinner for tonight. But like I said, a Dutch baby, you can do anything. You can do, it could be breakfast, it could be brunch, it could also be dinner for what, like we're doing now. You can make it with, the next one I want to do is with sausage and mushrooms, but there's also one that I want to do where you could put cinnamon, you could put nutmeg, you could put syrup, and it's like having French toast in a Dutch baby. So yeah, it's cooling down now. So me and Jimmy are going to sit down and we're going to enjoy our dinner. So if you like this video, please hit the like button. Please subscribe to my channel. Please hit the notification button so you can get other recipes coming up with Dutch babies and just a lot of other stuff that I'm cooking. And like I say at the end of all my videos, take care of one another, especially now. Peace out.